Last night, we told you that a controversial housing community in Tenino has been shut down. It was meant to house 5 sexually violent predators from McNeil Island. It's a hot-button issue for many and something that for weeks now we have been following closely. We've heard residents' concerns, we've explained how and why offenders are released, and we've also looked at proposed laws.
Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman traveled to McNeil Island and sat down exclusively with the chief of forensic services to get some answers.
We thought we were the guinea pigs.
Their voices echoing what they feared was a public safety concern.
We love our kids.
It's kids. It's our whole families.
A sigh of relief now that the less restrictive alternative, LRA community housing provider Supreme Living, has decided to drop its contract with the Department of Social and Health Services. DSHS telling Fox 13 there is a process a provider needs to go through to terminate a contract, saying in part, quote, Supreme Living has indicated it plans to follow that process. We anticipate a request to terminate the contract, but we have yet to receive one in writing at this time.
It's just been really alarming. So the fact that they're not here is a win, but does that mean that the risk is gone completely? I don't know.
We've heard from residents, so we decided to take a little trip. We went to McNeil Island to ask those in charge the questions that are on everyone's mind.
I recognize the difficulty of the awareness of people moving into their communities.
McNeil Island's Chief of Forensic Services, Dr. Holly Coriel, has been working with sex offenders since 2001. She says over the years, sex offense incidents have been and continue to decline.
Why is it so important to have a program and an institution like McNeil Island? What would the outcomes be if this process, if this program weren't to be established?
What we would have seen is, I think we've over the years maybe processed upwards of 500 individuals. Those individuals, if they were not detained and civilly committed, would have been released back to the communities, most probably with some level of DOC supervision for a period of time, but not consistently across the board with any requirements for treatment.
An example of this, Earl Kenneth Schreiner, who was convicted of murdering and mutilating 7-year-old Ryan Hade in 1989. He was out in the community without supervision after his sentence expired and a judge ruled he did not meet the criteria necessary to be considered an imminent danger to be committed under the state's mental health laws. His offense paved the way for what is now known as the Community Protection Act of 1990, giving Washington the power to civilly commit sex offenders for ongoing treatment until a court determines they are ready to rejoin society.
It speaks a lot to the quality of our criminal justice interventions and the focus on rehabilitation and shifting the parameter from punishment, containment to safety precautions balanced with rehabilitation. We're all working together for the betterment of the residents' treatment while keeping people safe.
Now, we're not done shining the spotlight on this process yet. We're working on one-on-one interviews with other officials in charge about the balance between a patient's civil rights and the public's right to safety. You can look for that next week on The Spotlight. Back to you.